Well, hello and welcome to the K's Denki Stadium in what is a rainy Mito for a rarely played Ibaraki derby as Mito Hollyhock, last season's J2 champions, take on Kashima Antlers, who are Japan's finest, for the 9th time, ending their 9-year wait for a J-League title. It's an historic day. It is the first time that these two clubs have ever met in league football. And it so happens that they are the champions of the top two divisions, meeting in J1 for the very first time in this 100-year Vision League. It's only the second time the clubs have ever met in all competitions. The only previous meeting was a 0-0 draw at the Kashima Soccer Stadium in the Emperor's Cup third round 11 years ago, which resulted in a 3-2 penalty shootout win for the now champions. A real sense of occasion here. And the brave spectators that have packed out this small, compact arena that holds round about 12,000 and not too short of capacity today either. All decked out though in the wet gear. There's not too much cover in this arena apart from the main stand on the near side. Let's check the teams then. 4 changes in personnel for Mito Hollyhock, but with a shifting around of positions. Takahiro Ida moves from right to left back. Takumi Maze drops to the left from midfield. Otaishi Semba and Miski Arai are brought into the centre, with Kaisuke Tada starting deeper on the right. Arata Watanabe returns up front alongside the Brazilian Mateus Laria, who makes his full debut, having featured twice so far from the bench. It is a wonderful atmosphere. The home fans really up for this, a rare opportunity to step out of the shadow of Kashima Antlers, their more successful neighbours from just over 50 kilometres away. Man in charge today, Kei Koya, 44-year-old, who is refereeing his 7th top-flight match this season. Haruyuki Kimura is the lead VAR official. Shuhei Mizoguchi returns at left-back in one of 2 changes from Toru Oniki. Centre-back Naomichi Ueda scored his 2nd goal this season in the win over Jeff United last time out, while Albert, the Brazilian, scored his 1st of the campaign. Gaku Shibasaki is brought into the centre of midfield for his 3rd start, alongside Kenta Mizao. Unsurprisingly, the front pair remain in place. Leo Ciara and Yuma Suzuki have scored 4 goals each so far this season and have gone some way to firing the champions to the top of the East Region table. Well, after today, it will be officially the halfway stage of the regular season. Kashima Antlers remain the only unbeaten side in the East or the West Region tables, outside of penalty shootouts. They drew their opening match with FC Tokyo before losing on penalties. Since then, it's been a perfect 7 straight wins. Mito Hollyhock, for their part, have managed just 1 win in their opening 8 top-flight games, the first ever top-flight campaign for the Ibaraki club. A rare opportunity, of course, to get a free stab at top-flight action without the fear of relegation before it starts for real, as the 26-27 campaign becomes Japan's first autumn to spring season. So it's Mito Hollyhock in the blue get us underway against Kashima Antlers in the first ever top-flight Ibaraki derby between these two sides, and only their 2nd ever competitive meeting. Kashima Antlers in the changed white strip arrive top of the table, 3 points clear of FC Tokyo. Mito Hollyhock second to bottom, 8 points from their first 8 games. Here's Maze. Now Arai, who goes for goal. Was off target. Miyako had to be on his toes though in the Kashima Antlers goal. Club football returning after the international break, a successful one for the Samurai Blue, the Japanese national team, with 1-0 wins away to both Scotland and England, winning at Hampden Park and Wembley, and becoming the first Asian team ever to beat England. All back with Hayakawa. J-League clubs going very well in the AFC competitions as well. Vissel Kobe and Machida Zalvia through to the Champions League Elite quarter-finals. Gamba Osaka into the Champions League 2 semi-finals. 1 Champions League Elite place up for grabs for the winners of the 100-year Vision League. Kashima Antlers already qualified as a result of last season, but the way things are shaping up, it could be a final showdown against Vissel Kobe. Another chance for them to regain their Champions League Elite spot should they fail to win it this season. Chance here for Mito Hollyhock, and a good save from Hayakawa. Strong start from the home team. And Leiria suddenly finding himself in behind. His body in front of Mizoguchi. Not the cleanest of strikes. There is a corner for the home team, who have started well here. Taishi Samba over it. There's no doubt, since they sealed promotion as J2 champions last season, this is the fixture all their supporters' eyes look for. On by Arai. Plenty of support here for Kashima Antlers as well. Relatively short journey, 56 kilometers north of Kashima. Osaki with the throw. Not a particularly good one, and Elbert can bring it away here for Kashima Antlers. Takara clears it away. A 2-1 win at home to another promoted club, Jeff United, before the international break. For that 7th successive win, Mito Hollyhock were beaten 3-0 away at last season's runners-up, Kashiwa Reysol, who haven't started this season quite so well. Shifted on by Takara. Danilo back to Nishikawa. Suzuki did well to come up with the ball. The touch in from Albert. Turn away from Semba though. Osaki. Tada wins the throw. It is going to be an exercise in survival next season for Mito Hollyhock. Have nothing like the budget of the other J1 clubs. Only about a third of all the teams they're likely to face next season. Only won 1 game, but they've been difficult to beat. 4 of their 8 matches so far have been decided in penalty shootouts. They've won 1 and lost 3 of those. Osaki. Leo Ciara, though, did well to win the ball initially, but Mito Hollyhock have it back. Ida. Now Semba. Switched out to Maze. Plays it into the box. Leiria helps it on. And fired well off target from Osaki, but good early pressure from Mito. Certainly getting at Kashima Antlers early on. Side who have conceded just 4 goals in their opening 8 games this season, the champions. Scored 15 as well, the joint highest scorers with Vissel Kobe, the side who are top of the West. Here's Mizoguchi. Now Ueda. Such a key player, both defensively and at the other end for Kashima Antlers. Now MEIJI Ueda. Mito first to all the loose balls though. Here's Osaki again. You're seeing plenty of it in the central midfield areas. Arai. Here's Danilo. Oh, he's caught late there by Suzuki. Here's a forward with a real edge to his game, Yuma Suzuki. I mean, the ball had long gone before he clattered into Danilo. Oh, he's got plenty to say for himself as well, apart from in post-match interviews. Barely says anything. Here's Albert. Now Ueda. Touched away by Nono. Goes for the return, which didn't arrive. With the throw. Watanabe with the touch off again. Watanabe. Very much the key man for Mito Hollyhock. Cross into the centre, headed away by Sakigawa. And now Leo Ciara, really good tempo to the opening 8.5 minutes. Takara just backing up. Ciara with the touch off. There's a deflection on that. It's going to be a corner for Kashima Antlers. Constant goal threat. Leo Ciara, the Brazilian. 31 now. 21 goals in each of his last 2 seasons. 21 for Kashima Antlers in their title campaign last season, and 21 for Cerezo Osaka, his former club the year before that. Ueda forward from the back for Kashima Antlers. Certainly one to watch on set pieces. A real aerial presence. Deep delivery right the way through to Suzuki. Touched away by Osaki. There's Mizou. Mito Hollyhock seeing plenty of the ball early on, but Kashima Antlers seeing more of it now. It's exactly level, the time with the ball. Header back to Nishikawa. 1 or 2 signs that Kashima Antlers are beginning to settle down now after the initial opening wave of pressure from Mito. Here's Danilo. Sakigawa, the best connection. Ueda helps him out. Now Mizoguchi, the left back. Suzuki. Miz out. To Araki, here's Shibasaki. Attacker read it well though and got across. And here's Danilo. Now Maze. A bit of space and has picked out Laria, who's made a lively start to the game. Given his opportunity to start alongside Watanabe today. Straight into the hands of Hayakawa. Wastes no time in bowling it out accurately towards Yuma Suzuki. Fallen kindly for Mizoguchi. There's Albert. Suzuki again. A poor touch though, and Semba won it, but it's flipped through towards Suzuki. The whistle has gone now. Piece of play by Semba, drawing in Araki to make the challenge. Daisuke Kimori took over in December from Naoki Mori, the man who was in charge and won the J2 title. He was promoted to football director though, replacing the general manager, and a shifting around at the top at Mito Hollyhock. There was some concern about the fact that Mori would no longer be in the dugout amongst the Mito supporters. His opposite number, Toru Onaki, returning Kashima Antlers to where they feel they belong, at the top of the table, having led Kawasaki Frontale, his former club, to all of their J1 titles. Miz out. There's an opening here, the angle's tight though. And they're claiming a corner, but I think a goal kick has been given. Takumi Maze, the right back, suddenly found himself in a decent position. Sakigawa did well though to get the block in. Time the challenge to perfection. That's by Hayakawa. Suzuki's header to Mizoguchi. Albert quicker to react than Maze, and now it's been switched out towards Nono. There's Araki ahead of him, gets the cross in. Here's Suzuki. First touch took it away, but it's a lovely delivery. And Albert just can't finish it off. They were stretched there, Mito. Now to throw to Kashima Antlers at the other end. Ryotaro Araki can't believe he hasn't scored. An attacker are getting in the way of Albert's effort. Oh, it's off the post. How's he missed that, Araki? Skimmed off his head. And then Albert on the follow-up firing it straight into Itakura. Well, Yuma Suzuki can't believe that his hard work didn't pay off. Wasn't the best control initially, but he dug out the cross superbly to find the head of Araki. And he could only find the Mito Hollyhock post. And that is a massive let-off for the home side. I'll always be a legend at Kawasaki Frontale, a club who would never won a major honour until he took over. He won the lot with them. Claimed all the domestic trophies before moving on to Kashima Antlers, the other club where he spent some of his playing career. Overseen 5 J1 title wins now, 4 with Kawasaki Frontale and last season with Kashima Antlers. Next target will be the AFC Champions League elite. Shibasaki. There's Ueda. There's Mizao. Shibasaki. The stadium, a sea of cagoule, as you can see, most of them blue or white. Nobody was going to miss this. This historical first top-flight clash between these two Ibaraki rivals. Nishikawa. Ria chasing that, but Hayakawa quickly out of his box to clear. Fit in by Shibasaki. Here's Ueda. Zoguchi. It's out for a throw. Space for Nono. Loves to fly forward. Araki just drops in field when he does so, but Araki has given the ball away this time. Still recovering mentally from that missed header. The chance of the game so far. He really should have scored it. Zoguchi. By Mizao to Shibasaki. Here's Araki. Nono. Suzuki's made the run. Such a live wire. Works so hard for the team as well, Suzuki. Mizao. Shibasaki. Mizoguchi. Oh, and it's fired just wide by Leo Ciara. Instinctively stuck a foot out to go for goal. Zoguchi was certainly shooting, but it in the end turned into a pass to Leo Ciara, who reacted quickly, but not quickly enough to turn it on target. Followed by Kento Mizao. Very much the star of this team. Arata Watanabe scored 13 goals, 7 assists in J2 last season. Joined the club at the start of the last campaign from Oita Trinita. Was at Albirex Nagata before that. play. Good challenge from Mizoguchi. Osaki with the throw. Clear distance on it. There gets the foot in though ahead of Maze. Here's Leiria. Touched in by Osaki. Too much depth on that from Semba, and it's a goal kick for Kashima Antlers. Well, Mito are unbeaten at home this season in 3 games in regulation play. 2 draws and 1 win. 1-1 draws against Jeff United and FC Tokyo, and a 1-0 victory against Yokohama F. Marinos remains their only win of the season. That was in their last home game here. So Kigawa with the header away. Leo Ciara. Ida stepping across. Unbeaten in 4 games in all, 2 wins, 2 draws since successive losses here in J2 last season. Amir Ardia won 2-0 here. Jeff United, who also came up, were 1-0 winners here. Ayakawa. Oh, it's good pressing. Here's Leiria. Blocked away though by Mizou. There's Maze. Takura. Maze. Osaki. He's seen plenty of it, and it was a good spot. Just too much on the delivery for Tada, who was in there. All too casual at the back here from Kashima Antlers. Osaki stepping in, stealing the ball, and Leiria's effort blocked away. Good defensive work from Kento Mizou, the central midfielder. Ishikawa quickly out. Throw for Kashima Antlers. Shibasaki. Mizoguchi trying to play it through. Danilo was there though. Osaki. Not the best of headers, but Hayakawa was on his toes and quickly out to cover. Here's Ueda. That's in mouth time that for Kibato Nono. Mizou. Last 2 away from home, Kashima Antlers. They were 3-0 winners at Machida Zalvia, which followed a 3-2 win at Araa Reds. They're actually 11 games unbeaten away from home in J1 since a 2-1 loss at Kawasaki Frontale, Toru Onoki's former club. That was back in July last season. Ida. Ishikawa did well to pick out Osaki, but he's pounced on by Mizou. Leo Ciara to Suzuki. Taps it on one more, and it's clipped over the top by Nono. winning that battle with Osaki. Suzuki again a central figure to the attack. Not quite the delivery from Nono that we saw Suzuki produce for Araki's header that came off the post. Ninth out of the 10 teams in the East region, Mito Hollyhock, but they are only 3 points behind fifth place Urawa Red, so it is pretty tight. Kashima Antlers with a 3-point lead over FC Tokyo in Turner, the 2 ahead of Machida Zelvia. Realistically, the only 3 clubs in with a chance of finishing top of the East. 9 games to go after today. Mizoguchi. Kashima Antlers would have been expecting a challenge from the likes of Kawasaki Frontale, Urawa Reds, Kashiwa Reysol, the runners-up from last season, but that hasn't really materialised. Yokohama F. Marinos continue to struggle. This is good play again by Mito, trying to weave their way through, but Watanabe in the end just ran into Ueda. Here's Leo Ciara. Suzuki. Now they can switch it out to Albert. Mizoguchi. Forced away by Takumi Maze. Ueda. Now Nono. Well, no goals and only one really big chance so far in the opening 28 minutes. It's a game being played at a good tempo. A real derby feel about it. And there is the first yellow card for Danilo. Probably still slightly aggrieved at that very early challenge from Yuma Suzuki. And exacting a bit of revenge there with a wrap across the back of the heel. And the toe end of the boot into the Achilles, a pretty painful one for Yuma Suzuki, and a yellow card for Danilo. Mizoguchi, now Ciara, Suzuki into Albert. Albert who won his second J-League title last season, his first with Kashima Antlers. Also won it in 2022 with Yokohama F. Marinos. Kashima Antlers with more of the ball now, as is to be expected after a strong start from Mito Hollyhock. Headed away by Nono. Half an hour gone, and still we await the first ever competitive goal between these two teams. First ever league meeting, as I was saying, but the meeting in the Emperor's Cup was goalless when they met 11 years ago. It was decided on penalties. Osaki with the throw. They know what's coming, Kashima Antlers. Question is, can they defend it? Danilo and Itaka are forwards. gone short this time. Now Ciara getting the block in. He's left a bit on Osaki there. Albert chasing that somewhat forlornly because Ishikawa was always the favourite. Now does clear it away. Osaki back on his feet again, which will be a relief to the Mito fans. Here's Laria. Lost in by Maze. And Nono just calmly chesting it back to Hayakawa. That's a foul from Arai. It's not stopping the rain, is it? Continues to pour down here at the K's Denki Stadium. Osaki. Risky tactics here from Mito Hollyhock, and they do have a free kick. Arai. Kashima Antlers, by the way, defending a 19-game unbeaten records. Won 14 and drawn 5, including the last 11 games of last season. Here's Laria. It's pulled back to the edge of the box. Big chance! Opening goal from Arata Watanabe. And it is Mito Hollyhock who score the first goal in the derby against Kashima Antlers. And it just had to be Arata Watanabe, their main man of last season, the club captain, has the honour of scoring the first ever competitive goal between these two sides. Sat up perfectly for him and drove it low and hard past Tomoki Hayakawa. And it's Mito Hollyhock 1, Kashima Antlers 0. And now the 19-game unbeaten run of the champions is in jeopardy. Well, he's the player they would have wanted it to fall to in that position, and that's why. 13 goals in J2 last season, just his second of this campaign. And an historic goal for Arata Watanabe. Scored in the 1-1 draw here against FC Tokyo. A game which they lost on penalties. Just the 5th goal that Kashima Antlers have conceded this season. And that header against the post from Ryotaro Araki looks even more expensive now. Sakigawa with Hayakawa. Leiria with the chest down. Osaki plays it through again. They're looking dangerous once again. There's another opening and it's fired wide by Kaisuke Tada. And suddenly they're looking all open in the centre of their defence, Kashima Antlers. Snatched at that, Tada. It's a great chance. Ayakawa, I'm sure surprised he didn't have to make the save. What a spell in the game this is for Mito Hollyhock. A goal up, and it could have been 2. Here's Suzuki. Now Araki. Good recovering challenge, though, from Takumi Maze. Well, they're certainly fired up for this, Mito Hollyhock. Kashima Antlers would have been aware of that. Here's Semba. Here's Maze. Club with its first look at the top flight against a club who expects success. 9-time champions, 5 Emperor's Cup wins, 6 J.League Cup wins. Champions League winners back in 2018. They were even the first Asian club to reach the FIFA Club World Cup final. And they beat Atletico Nacional of Colombia in the semi-final 10 years ago in 2016. Actually led Real Madrid 2-1 in the final before losing 4-2 in extra time, succumbing to a Cristiano Ronaldo hat-trick. That's the kind of level of club that Mito Hollyhock are beating here. Nishikawa. Maze wanting to get on with the throw. It's been a terrific rise for a club who they formed in 1990. Real investment to talk of. It's been achieved organically by good coaching and spotting of talent. Mizoguchi. Success will be measured by survival. On by Ueda to Nono. Sakigawa. Albert. More urgency now about Kashima Antlers off the back of conceding that opening goal. Sakigawa. Sides meet again on the 6th of May at the Kashima Soccer Stadium. Mizoguchi. Suzuki. Albert stands the cross in. It was a decent delivery. Nono just couldn't reach it. Skidding off the wet surface. Inviting ball in from Albert. Over 5 minutes to half-time. Mito Hollyhock 1, Kashima Antlers 0. Last season's J2 champions, beating the Japanese champions. Launch forward towards Suzuki, Danilo underneath it. Here's Suzuki again. It's been a real fight between Suzuki and Danilo up there. Seara with the touch off to Araki. Oh, Albert had made the run. And he'd been spotted by Shibasaki as well. Here's Suzuki. Swings the cross in again, Danilo with the header away. And now Watanabe leads the counter for Mito. Mizao with the challenge though. Takigawa from Mizoguchi. It's a good ball to Albert, but well read by Nishikawa. Some Rattlers would love to get themselves level before half-time. It's Maze. Danilo. A fabulous atmosphere has been created today. This historical clash between these two rivals. Mito Hollyhock players have certainly responded. Arai. Ida. Osaki. Danilo spotted the run of Maze, who's got through some yardage in this first half. The Mito right back. It's Maze again. Osaki. Watanabe, the goal scorer. He already has Laria in support. Here is the Brazilian. Getting stuck in the loose ball though for Maze. Watanabe. And then Osaki was caught after he released that. It's going to be a free kick for Mito Hollyhock. And an opportunity as we head towards the last minute of the regulation 45. A challenge that didn't really need to be made from Leo Ciara. Committed though and trod right on the top of Koshi Osaki's foot. Takara and Danilo. Again, both forward from the back for Mito. Leiria in there as well. Joined in February from Ventforet Kofu. Goals for them last season in J2. Looking for his first for Mito Hollyhock. Is this the moment? Osaki clips it in. And there's going to be 3 minutes added on at the end of the first half. In the way by Kenta Mizell. Semba to deliver the corner. He and Osaki have worked so hard in the centre of midfield for Mito Hollyhock. Short with this one too, Osaki. That's going to be a free kick. Foul on Araki. Semba just pulling him back. Away by Danilo. And for a second time. Zoguchi to Albert. To nobody in particular. I think the intended target was Ueda. Mizal. Towards Leo Ciara. Danilo again defending well though. He and Atakara have kept Ciara and Suzuki largely quiet. Suzuki with that delivery to Araki. Kashima Antlers' best opportunity. And Leo Ciara stabbed an effort wide of the post as well after getting in on the end of a miss-hit shot from Shuhei Mizoguchi. There is Leo Ciara. Shibasaki. Kigawa to Mizoguchi. Shibasaki. Covered again by Kenta Atakara. Ciara. Robert finding Suzuki. Again drops deep to involve himself in the play, and it is Mito Hollyhock who have the half-time lead. The champions' unbeaten start to the season in regulation play, certainly in danger, as is their 19-match unbeaten run. But in the first ever top-flight meeting, first ever league meeting between these two Ibaraki rivals, it is Arata Watanabe's goal on 34 minutes that separate the two sides. Kashima Antlers will point to Ryotaro Araki's header off the inside of the post when he really should have scored as their best first half opportunity, and Leo Ciara stabbed one wide as well. But Mito Hollyhock have been lively. They've certainly got stuck into the champions, and last season's J2 winners are leading the Japanese champions at the break and on course at the moment for just their second win of the season. It's Mito Hollyhock 1, Kashima Antlers 0.
目に電気3勝2度対鹿島アントレース前半を1対0ミッドホールホック先制して折り返して迎えました。渡辺選手を見事なところに前半1対0リードしておることができました。ぜひお求めの力でご覧もう一つさらに2003年のゴール優勝をしていきたいと思います。応援よろしくお願いします。この反対の様々な情報をお届けしていきます。相手情報のスタジオに入れてみましょう。はい、お願いします。さあ、ということで、まずはこの後、日本予選国のお知らせです。後半の日本予選国、15時06分、15時06分を予定しています。さあ、続いて、まずはですね。はい、ということで、今、大型ビデオの新聞のバスの東京バスから16時から11時まで、大型ビデオのグランドバスですね、ダブルナッチョロイの今、3つのバスです。はい、今、赤坂エリートバスの東京バスが16時から11時まで6本のバスです。ご覧のように6人いるので。はい、今、大型ビデオにノーサイバー茨城のブラック協会でのバスを紹介しています。このバスは2回で赤坂駅方面にありますのでご注意ください。これは奥側のバス停ですね。ノーサイバーに茨城のブラック協会です。
2026年6月13日あの J リーグオールスターが17年の時を超え MUFG 国立によみがえる J リーグオールスターダゾーンカップ開催決定。あの選手とあの選手が同じチームに、あの選手のアシストであの選手がゴールなどクラブ間の境界線を越えて熱狂できる。出場する選手を決める投票方法はご覧の3つ。詳しくは J リーグオールスター特設サイトへ。
Welcome back to the denki Stadium, where Mito Hollyhock are leading the champions Kashima Antlers goal to nil in the first ever league meeting in the Ibaraki derby between these two. It looks as though Kashima Antlers are going to be making a change or two for the second half. A largely disappointing first half display. May have been different had Araki found the net rather than the post from his close-range header. Leo Ciara with one sight of the Mito goal when he side-footed wide, redirecting Mizoguchi's miss-hit shot. But it's Arata Watanabe's goal on 34 minutes that separates the two local rivals, scoring the first ever competitive goal in meetings between these two teams. It's only the second ever competitive meeting. The first was 11 years ago. That finished goalless. Kashima Antlers won on penalties. Will we be finishing this one on penalties as well? Not as it stands, though. Mito have a habit of that. 4 of their 8 games have been decided from the penalty spot so far this season. So Kashima Antlers' 19-game unbeaten run in jeopardy. Second half underway. Mito Hollyhock leading Kashima Antlers by a goal to nil. Second-tier champions leading last season's Japanese champions. Big chance immediately after the goal as well from Keisuke Tada. Fired wide. Confirmation of those two changes. Matsumura and Tagawa are on. Albert and Araki off, the two wide players. There won't be an opportunity for Araki to make up for that missed chance. Toru Onaki acting quickly. Suzuki. Zogichi plays it forwards. Header on by Sekigawa. Now Leiria threatening to get him behind and forgot to take the ball with him in the end. The line pretty well though, Leiria, alongside Watanabe. Kashima was giving the ball away, Watanabe firing it in. To clears. Yeah, that was late. Free kick. Kashima Antlers. Waving play on, despite the protest of Takumi Maze and the supporters on that near side. It's caused real problems for Kashima Antlers down their left. Takumi Maze, when he gets forwards, he's actually been more of a threat than Keisuke Tada, actually, the right winger. Ida's header away. Picked up by Arai to keep it in play. Watanabe will chase after it. Ida across though. Been a great deal in the context of the season for Mito Hollyhock as it's panning out. It would be massive for their supporters to get one over Kashima Antlers. Real confidence boost for the remainder of this short season and then the 26-27 season to come, when they will be faced with the jeopardy of potential relegation. Here's Watanabe. Club looking to build something against the odds and establish themselves in the top flight. It's going to be quite a challenge, but the early signs are promising. Here's Suzuki. Takara across. Nishikawa. towards Leiria. Tada hacks it forward, but it's picked up by Ueda. Here's Nono. Nono again. Shibasaki. Kimori may have to use his substitutions wisely because they've got through an awful lot of work here. Mito Hollyhock in the opening hour of the game. Nono. It's whether they can keep it up for the full 90. Hayakawa. Tackle, every mistake from Kashima Antlers is cheered from the Mito Hollyhock fans who have really got behind their team here. For 11 years they've been waiting to lock horns again. Almost played through to Tagawa. And his substitute just unable to get on the end of that though. An extra bit of determination again from Mito Hollyhock that we've seen throughout the game so far. Semba. Leiria pointed where he wanted it. Played on by Maze. Whipped across into the hands of Hayakawa though. There was 3 in blue to aim for. Disappointing delivery from the Brazilian. Switched the play up really well at times and have created holes in this usually watertight Kashima Antlers defence. Suzuki. Sekigawa. Ueda. Well, they may have had more of the ball, Kashima Antlers, but struggling to create significant chances. Suzuki. Now Tagawa. Oh, touched off by Leo Ciara. Tagawa puts it wide. Well, a third big chance goes begging in the game for the champions. Suzuki now operating on the left with Tagawa through the middle. Combining well with Leo Ciara. Scuffed his shot really when you see it from that angle. Even with a scuff, you'd expect him to hit the target from there, but he couldn't. Well, it would have been quite the impact from Kyosuke Tagawa. Danilo. Launched away by Nishikawa. He's been struggling for regular starts, Tagawa, since returning to Japanese football from Scottish side Hearts in 2024. Just 9 of his 33 appearances have come from the start, the others all off the bench. It's a corner. 3 goals last season in the title campaign, but hasn't scored since August. The winner and a 1-0 win at FC Tokyo. Have Alexander Čavrić amongst their substitutes, the Serbian striker Kashima Antlers. He's gone with Tagawa. He really should have levelled. overloading the goalkeeper here. Everybody squeezed into the 6-yard box and at the front post as well. Shibasaki will deliver. It's clipped to the front post, and Danilo heads it away. Sent back in by Nono. Mizoguchi. Now Mizao looking for Suzuki. Anywhere will do from Kenta Itakura. Nono. Tough games on the horizon for Kashima Antlers. Kawasaki Frontale away. Next up for Arao Reds and Kashiwa Reysol. Sumuro with the cross in. Zueda. Kashima Antlers even more dominant in terms of possession since the break. 76% of the ball since half-time. They trail 1-0. Hits Suzuki, almost fell for Ciara. And Nono trying to steal the ball away in the 6-yard box. But they're beginning to crank up the pressure here now, the champions. Here's Nono. Their last away loss at Kawasaki Frontale in July, when they were beaten 2-1. Which coincidentally is their next game next week. It's the first of successive away matches. Nono. Sumuro unable to pick that up. Well, he was going for goal there, completely mishit it. It's going to be a free kick. Card coming out here for Danilo, who has already been booked, and this could be a significant change in the game here in favour of Kashima Antlers. Danilo is staying down, but the referee has a second yellow card in his hand, and the Brazilian centre-back is about to be sent off. And Mito Hollyhock lead by a goal to 0. But they are going down to 10 very shortly. Tagawa, the player he clattered into. He's winded himself as well, but he's going to play no further part in the game. And Daisuke Kemuri has a big decision to make now. It's going to be a long half an hour down to 10 against the champions. Well, there's the goal that separates them. Arata Watanabe. Thirteen goals in the promotion push last season, his second of this campaign. Mito Hollyhock, half an hour away from ending the only undefeated record in the 100-year Vision League this season. like Fofana is going to come on. The question is, who's going to be sacrificed? Both knees heavily K-taped up. Double change. Yamamoto. Yeah, I don't think he realised he was shown a second yellow card there, Danilo. Referee does, in fairness, usually wait until the player gets back on his feet. The second yellow and red was shown whilst he was still down, Danilo, so he's off, much to his surprise. So Arai is off. Held up 44 there, the official, but there isn't a 44 on there for Mito Hollyhock. Soon realised his mistake, that it was meant to be 14. And Laria makes way. And Fofana is on. Move into the defence. And Yamamoto is on for Arai. Laria, the player sacrificed, as Mito Hollyhock looked to hold on for the last half an hour or so. Free kick floated in and driven over the top. Big chance for Ueda. And that is a threat he offers at the other end, as well as being a solid centre-back. Got his foot on that. Connection, but off target, as he sought to score his third goal of this campaign. Well, the odds were stacked against Mito Hollyhock before kick-off. Very much the underdogs, even more so now, despite the fact they lead by a goal to nil. They lost one of their main centre-backs, and down to 10. Jumped off the stretcher, expecting to come back on, only to be told that he'd been shown a second yellow. Here's Nono. Matsumura. Now Mizoguchi. Punched away by Nishikawa. The whistle is gone though. Well, they haven't failed to score this season, Kashima Antlers. Last time they failed to score was in a 0-0 draw away to Vissel Kobe back in October at the end of last season. Successive goalless draws, if you include the 0-0 with Gambra Saka before that. Fofana's header away. Back by Ueda. Now brought down by Semba. Mizoguchi slides in. Well, they do hold on here for the 3 points. This is certainly one for the history books for Mito Hollyhock. Watanabe. Maze looking to get the delivery in. Watanabe. Flag up for offside against Maze, who had just strayed. Well, the fans certainly won't remember how wet and cold they were on the day that Mito Hollyhock beat Kashima Antlers, if they can see it out. It's a big ask, though. Nono. Sakigawa. Shibasaki. Ueda. Isn't the best ball to Mizoguchi, just had to check his run. Sakigawa. Takara did well. Matsumura. Shibasaki. Here's Nono. Ciara with the touch off. Kashima Antlers attacking the hordes of travelling away fans as the crosses into the hands of Nishikawa. Plenty of support here for the champions. It's the Mito Hollyhock fans you can hear. Flag up on the far side. Now Ciara. Space for Mizoguchi to bring it forwards. Suzuki available. He's always available. Oh, he does get it. Touches it to Mizao. Here's Suzuki. Now Matsumura. Challenge from Yamamoto. It's just not happening for Kashima Antlers at the moment. Oh, I tell you what, his heart was in his mouth there, the substitute. Could easily have slid in and given away a penalty once he'd lost his footing. Just the second corner of the game, interestingly, for Kashima Antlers. It's an outswinger this time. And it's driven back in first time and just past the post from Nono. Well, that could have hit anybody and deflected in. Suzuki is claiming a handball in there. The referee has given a corner. There is a VAR conversation taking place. Been cleared. It is a corner. Short to Mizao. Gets the cross in. The header down from Leo Ciara. Mizoguchi. Clipped in again. Fofana won the initial header. Mito struggling to get this away. Leo Ciara makes the opening and beaten away by Nishikawa for another corner. It is going to be a very busy last 20 minutes for Mito Hollyhock. Lovely skill and awareness from Leo Ciara just to turn away from Watanabe and get that little bit of space to get the shot away. Ayaka were well positioned though. Shibasaki's corner. Tagawa. To Leo Ciara, heads it back across. Tagawa putting the defender under pressure and wins the corner. Mito Hollyhock can't get out at the moment. Six in there for Kashima Antlers. Low delivery this time. Maze heads it away for Mito. Here's Nono. Back it comes again from Mizoguchi. Leo Ciara's header, but into a sea of blue. Nono. Matsumura. Pressure continues to build on Mito Hollyhock. They're sticking in there, they're plugging the gaps. Clearing their lines when they have to. Nemato is about to come on for Mito Hollyhock. Sumura. Into the box again, headed away. Fofana challenges for it. Mizou touches it back out. Mizoguchi. Too many bodies back there, and Mito trying to break and relieve a little bit of the pressure, and they have done that. Yellow card for Shuhei Mizoguchi. Terrific play again from Arata Watanabe. And it's going to be his final action. He's coming off, the captain and goal scorer. Scorer of a first ever derby goal between these two teams in a competitive arena. He's going to be replaced by Ryo Nemato, who is on for his first appearance of the season. He's left his mark on the game. Watanabe, will it be the winning moment? Nemato is on. Joined in July from Shodan Palmare. Featured just 3 times from the bench. So it's only his 4th appearance for the club, his first of this season. You wonder how much of the ball he'll see. So Kashima Antlers making changes as well. Mizoguchi's just been booked. One of those replaced by Koki Anzai. And Chinan on for Shibasaki. Here's Nono. Matsumura. Nono into the last quarter of an hour. Kashima Antlers fans getting a bit edgy, time getting away from them. Ida across, wearing the armband now in the absence of Arata Watanabe. She's been replaced by Ryo Nemoto. Here's the last unbeaten record in the J100 Year Vision League, about to go. Card is out again. And it's Nemoto, who's only just come on. Third yellow card of the game for Mito. The other two both went to Danilo, which is why they're down to 10. Stayed in play, and Kashima Antlers can attack. Leo Ciara. Oh, he's gone for goal. Spotted the goalkeeper off his line. Great effort. And Nishikawa scrambling back for a moment. Yeah, look, he's on the edge of the penalty area. Leo Ciara aware of that and went for it. Wasn't too far away. Would have got back in time. Worth a try though. Here's Nono. Matsumura. Chinen. Into the box. Kashima Antlers throw. Nono. Can they find a way through? Or is their 19-match unbeaten run coming to an end? Nono. Suzuki. Anzai. Suzuki, Mizao, beaten to it. Nemoto tried to bring it away, but Kashima Antlers win it back in double quick time. And that's overrun in the end by Anzai, and it's a goal kick for Mito Hollyhock. And they have 11 minutes plus stoppage time to hold on. This would certainly be one of the most famous wins in the club's history, if not the most famous. A victory against one of Japan's top teams, and they're Ibaraki rivals to boot, in the first ever league derby between these two sides. They don't have much to hold over Kashima Antlers. This would certainly be something. 10,500, certainly not far short of capacity. Here's Nono. Matsumura outside him. Nono. Matsumura, touch off by Suzuki. Here's Mizao with the back heel. Suzuki wins it back brilliantly, gets the cross in, what an inviting ball. But as so often today, it's a Mito Hollyhock defender who heads it away. Leo Ciara. Trying to relieve a bit of that pressure, but they just can't keep the ball now, Mito. Nono. It was always going to be like this from the moment Danilo was shown the red card. Suzuki with the cross in off the head of Ciara. Anzai will get there. It's an agonising watch now for those Mito Hollyhock fans. Leo Ciara, Anzai. Anywhere will do for Mito. And it will come straight back at them. Sekigawa, Suzuki. Now Nono. Matsumura. Oh, what a frustrating defeat this would be. Chance to move 6 points clear at the top. Their lead will remain at 3 from FC Tokyo. Header away by Takara. Mito Hollyhock set to move up to 7th place with the victory here. They'll be level with Araya Reds and Kawasaki Frontale, although they will have played a game more than those two. Here's Nono. Now Matsumura. Suzuki with the touch back to Nono. Leo Ciara. Mizao, no way through. Suzuki. The game being played pretty much inside the last 30 metres of the field. Here's Nono. Lifts it to the back post, Leo Ciara's header, and it's gathered by Nishikawa. With hindsight, when you look back to that mischance by Ryotaro Araki when he hit the post from pretty much point-blank range, you wondered if it was going to be Kashima Antlers' day. And you still wonder. 6.5 plus stoppages to go. Still Mito Hollyhock 1, Kashima Antlers 0. And what has become pretty much attack against defence. Matsumura. Sekigawa. It's a good ball in behind for Anzai, squares it! Oh, what a piece of defending that was from Itakura. Leo Ciara would have had a tap-in. Lovely ball from Sekigawa. Anzai across. And Leo Ciara's eyes were wide open, ready to pounce. And in came Kenta Itakura from nowhere. So Kenta Mizao is being replaced by Yuta Higuchi. Final change for Kashima Antlers. As they try and force this equalising goal. And Takashi Ushizawa is coming on. Semba, the player replaced. Comes the corner. Yamato's header away. Suzuki. Touch back to the edge of the box. And fired off target. He's been his usual lively self. He's done as much as anybody in the white of Kashima Antlers to maintain their unbeaten record, but that is how it stands. 1-0 to Mito Hollyhock. 4 minutes away from a famous win against the champions. Ueda. Nono. Scored in every match so far this season. Unbeaten this season outside of penalty shootouts. They've won 7 games in a row. They are 19 unbeaten, including the end of last season. But they are minutes from defeat here against the 10 men of Mito Hollyhock. Ciara with the header. Oh, no! Another big chance for Kashima Antlers, not taken. Lovely awareness to just head the ball back to Tagawa. Took a swipe at it and put it wide. It's 2 massive chances that Kyosuke Tagawa has had since coming on, and he's not taken either. It's not been a vintage performance by any means from Kashima Antlers, but they've certainly had the opportunities in the game to be ahead, and yet they find themselves behind. It's a Mito throw. Nobody rushing to pick up the loose ball either. Well, there'll still be 3 points clear at the top of the table, but a real chance here to move 6 ahead and really cement their place at the top at the halfway stage. 9 games to go after today. There's playoffs for every position between the East and West once the 18-match regular season is over, but there's only one that really counts, and that's first against first for that Champions League elite place. Kashima Antlers already have a place in that competition, so if they win it, it will go to Kyoto Sanga, who finished 3rd in the 2025 season. It's a different story of Vissel Kobe, currently top of the West, win it, and they will claim that Champions League elite spot, having finished 5th last season. Yellow card for Kimito Nono. Second Kashima Antlers player into the book, along with Shuhei Mizoguchi, who's been taken off. Shizuwa. Now Nemoto. Offside. Final minute then. How long will be added on? All eyes on that 4th official's board. Here's Ueda. Higuchi. Suzuki. Now Ueda. Tagawa. Anzai into Suzuki, who plays it through. Oh, they were almost opened up again. Ida stepping in though to clear it away. That's been one of those almost days for Kashima Antlers. 5 minutes added on. 5 minutes to find an equalizer and take us to penalties and save their unbeaten record. Fofana clears. Talk about digging in and sticking to the task, Mito Hollyhock, in this second half, particularly after the red card for Danilo. Suzuki. Matsumura. Mito clear it away. I mean, the tone was set really from the moment Danilo was sent off. It was always going to be like this, with Mito holding on and Kashima knocking at the door. Ueda. Suzuki. Nono. Swings the cross in, Tago arose, here's Anzai. Mito again just getting bodies in the way. Tada heading that one away. Anzai up against Maze. Almost found a way through, but again it's Itakura who's there to clear. And then Fofana with the final sliding challenge. Ueda. Touched across by Nono. Fofana makes sure it's another corner for Kashima Antlers. And Mito are 3 minutes away. Taken short to Anzai. Gets the cross in and that's headed away. It's been a frustrating day for him as well. Header on by Nemoto. On towards Suzuki. 2 minutes to go. They've had 86% of the ball second half, Kashima Antlers. Mito Hollyhock have barely been out of their own half, particularly since the Danilo red card. But they are clinging on. Nono. Sakigawa. It's late by Nemoto, the referee waving play on though, because Anzai has it. Here's Leo Ciara. It's another corner for Kashima Antlers. They're appealing for handball here. And the referee has given a penalty. 90 seconds to go. And Kashima Antlers have a penalty for handball. Well, Leo Ciara immediately appealed. He's just whipping the cross in here. And it hits the arm. It may have come off the chest first, but it doesn't. It hits the arm. And in this day and age, that's always going to be given. Tough moment for Mito Hollyhock. And Leo Ciara with the penalty to take us to penalties, surely. Can Konosuke Nishikawa make a real name for himself here? Scored 4 out of his last 5 penalties, as you can see from that graphic, Leo Ciara. Can he make it 5 from 6 and save Kashima Antlers' unbeaten record this season? So harsh on Mito Hollyhock. It clearly hits the arm. We're past the 5 minutes to be added on now. Leo Ciara then to level for Kashima Antlers. against Konosuke Nishikawa. And he scores, it's 1-1. And Kashima Antlers surely take this game to penalties. They so nearly did it, they so nearly hung on, Mito Hollyhock. But the most unfortunate of penalties, resulting in Leo Ciara tucking away the equalizer and extending Kashima Antlers' unbeaten record now surely to 20 games outside of penalty shootouts. And their unbeaten run to this campaign set to continue. But they know they've been mightily fortunate here, because for a long time it looked as though Arata Watanabe's goal was going to win it for Mito Hollyhock. Ida. Clip forward again towards Leo Ciara. One back by Ida. And Mito Hollyhock look as though they're heading to penalties for the 5th time this season. Suzuki. Driving forward, Yuma Suzuki. Here's Anzai. Swings the cross in again. Itakura with the header away. One back by Chinan. Higuchi, Suzuki. Into the box again. Itakura clears. Matsumura. And it will be a penalty shootout. The first ever league meeting between the two Ibaraki rivals finishes in a 1-1 draw. You can see the frustration of Arata Watanabe there, slamming his top down onto the bench. But Toru Onaki's side have got out of jail really here. Difficult moment for Mito Hollyhock and Koshi Osaki, who were seconds away from winning the first ever league derby against Kashima Antlers, only to be denied by a Leo Ciara penalty 6 minutes into stoppage time. It was a brave performance from Mito Hollyhock, who seemed on course for their second win of the season, but it's finished. Mito Hollyhock 1, Kashima Antlers 1, and it will be a penalty shootout to decide the extra point here. So the two captains make their way to the centre. One of the innovations of the J1 100-year Vision League season is that drawn games are decided by penalties, so an extra point up for grabs here for Kashima Antlers. If they win the shootout, they will go 5 points clear of FC Tokyo at the top of the East Region table. If Mito Hollyhock come out on top, they will move a point above Yokohama F. Marinos into 7th place. Well, they meet again in a month's time at the Kashima Soccer Stadium. How close were Mito Hollyhock to win the first ever league meeting against their illustrious rivals? No matter how many times Kashima Antlers would go on to beat them in future meetings, they could have said that they'd always won the first. Not now, though. This will go down as a 1-1 draw, but there is a chance to win the penalty shootout at least and grab the extra point. Well, they've had 4 penalty shootouts so far this season. This is the 5th. They've lost 3 of them. Is their luck about to change? Kashima Antlers losing their only penalty shootout this season against FC Tokyo on the opening day of the campaign. Looks as though the penalties are going to be taken in front of the travelling Kashima Antlers supporters. Still a chance for a bit of glory winning the shootout. Not the same though as getting the 3 points. And it's going to be Kaichinen to take the first penalty for Kashima Antlers. Up against Konosuke Nishikawa. Faced Leo Ciara just a couple of moments ago. And it's saved. Well, the perfect start to the shootout for Mito Hollyhock. Poor penalty from Chinen. He's had plenty of practice at this. Nishikawa, as I was saying, their 5th shootout in what is their 9th game this season. Osaki. To put Mito Hollyhock in front. Against Tomoki Hayakawa. Experienced Kashima Antlers goalkeeper. Koshi Osaki then with a chance to put Mito in front. He does. Almost kept it out, Hayakawa. Guessed right, got his hands to it. And it finds its way into the back of the net, and Mito Hollyhock lead 1-0 in the shootout. Now MEIJI Yasuda stepping up for Kashima Antlers' second penalty. First time these two sides met 11 years ago in the Emperor's Cup. It finished 0-0, went to penalties. Kashima Antlers won 3-2 on spot kicks. Oh, Ueda skies it! Blazes it over the bar. And if the next penalty goes in, Kashima Antlers are surely on their way to a second penalty shootout defeat. Ryo Nemoto, who came off the bench, replacing Arata Watanabe, the goal scorer in the second half. Chance to make it 2-0, he's frustrated. They've gained a point with that Leo Ciara equalizer, but the bonus point may be going here. It's a big penalty, this one. Hayakawa needs to try and keep it out. Oh, Nemoto puts it away, and it's 2-0 in the shootout. Kashima Antlers are in real trouble if they fail to score the next one. Yuma Suzuki. 2-0 down after 2 penalties each. Chinen seeing his penalty saved, Ueda blazing his over the top. If Yuma Suzuki fails to score here, Mito will have the next one to win. Ishikawa hasn't been beaten so far in the shootout. Cool penalty from Suzuki. He was too happy with something that Ishikawa may well have said to him before he stepped up. A bit of gamesmanship maybe, but Suzuki put it away nonetheless. Chance to make it 3-1 here for Mito Hollyhock. Keisuke Tada. And he does. It's 3-1. And they are on the brink of at least a penalty shootout win here against Kashima Antlers. This one has to go in, or it is over. And it's Kyosuke Tagawa, who missed two really big chances, actually, after coming off the bench. Can ill afford a third miss here. And Tagawa buries it. 3-2. But it is match point for Mito Hollyhock. Miyakawa has to keep it out. And Kashima Antlers having already missed two. Hayata Yamamoto to win it for Mito Hollyhock in the shootout and grab the extra point. Hayata Yamamoto wins the shootout. 4-2 on penalties to Mito Hollyhock. And although they couldn't celebrate the win in regulation times for a famous victory against Kashima Antlers, they have at least beaten them on penalties to gain the extra point. And at the same time, Kashima Antlers maintain their unbeaten start to the season in regulation play. But for the second time, have lost in a penalty shootout. And so their lead at the top will be 4 points from FC Tokyo. Mito Hollyhock will move on to 10 points and jump above Yokohama F. Marinos. Frustrating shootout for Kashima Antlers. Cheenan seeing his penalty saved, Ueda firing his over the top. But Mito Hollyhock at least have a win of sorts against Kashima Antlers. It has finished Mito Hollyhock 1, Kashima Antlers 1. Mito win 4-2 on penalties. Well, a day in which I guess everybody ends happy, but the disappointment will still be there for Mito Hollyhock that they were denied so close to the end. A famous win, the first ever league meeting between these two Ibaraki rivals, finishing in a 1-1 draw. But with it being the 100-year Vision League, drawn matches decided on penalties for a bonus point, and it is Mito Hollyhock who have won that shootout by 4-2, but it is 20 games unbeaten now for Toru Onoki's champions. They are 4 ahead at the top of the East table. With some tough games to come, a trip to his former club, Kawasaki Frontale, next weekend for a home game with Urawa Reds, and then a trip to last season's runners-up Kashima Antlers. We are at the halfway point of the regulation season, and Kashima Antlers, the champions, are top of the East region with a 4-point advantage and are the only unbeaten team across both regions. One or two of the Kashima Antlers supporters at the front, they're not happy with the team's performance, I don't think. Fairly fierce exchange between the players and the travelling fans. Clearly expecting more and expecting to come out on top against the newly promoted side. But they have a chance to do it all over again in a month's time at the Kashima Soccer Stadium when they meet for the second time. And then, of course, 2 more derbies next season in the 26-27 campaign once it gets underway. Well, they've not lost the game, they've only lost a shootout. They are still unbeaten outside of penalties. And it shows the high standards that this club sets, that there is real disappointment from the players and the supporters as well. Don't have the look of a side leaving the field who have just increased their lead at the top of the East region to 4 points. Hoping to get a bit of post-match reaction very shortly, potentially from Haruto Watanabe, the scorer of the Mito Hollyhock goal, or maybe Leo Ciara from Kashima Antlers. But we'll find out very shortly. It's not the day they were so close to achieving, but they'll be pretty happy with their day's work here, Mito Hollyhock. It's a decent couple of points against their illustrious Ibaraki rivals and the champions.
Mito Hollyhock 西川幸之助選手にお越しいただきました。勝利おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
何より最初に振り返っていいでしょうか。PK 戦での1本目シュートストップ、どんなシーンでしたか。
そうですね、もともと PK で勝ててなかったのと自分が1本も止めてなかったんで、この茨城ダービーっていう大事な試合で絶対自分が止めてやるっていう気持ちもこもってましたし、いろんなデータだったりさまざまなものをもらった中